Hi, I have a story. So, about 20 years ago, I had this little house with this beautiful white vinyl picket fence. I'm being silly because I think fences are silly. Um, anyway, it came with the house. And one day I was out doing some yard work, and these young children from the elementary school were walking home. And one boy, he just started kicking on my fence and pulling the pickets off. That's how cheap the fence is garbage. He's just a child could disassemble it with his hands. So he starts pulling the pickets off. And I see that, and I think back how I was a little vandal and, rebellious twit, basically, when I was a child. And I said, if someone, then I remembered how people caught me doing stuff like that and taught me a lesson, so to speak. It wasn't the right thing to do with violence, but it was a different time. So I say, oh no, I'm going to help this child. So I said, hey, and he looked at me. He didn't see me standing there, or he wouldn't have done it. And he started to run. So I ran and I just jumped over that fence and I chased him all the way home. Now, this is quite silly to see a grown man chasing a, I don't know, 8-year-old. But I held back. So I didn't want him to get so fearful that he'd run out in front of traffic. So I slowly chased him. And I basically followed him to his house, and he ran up into the door, ran into the house, and shut the door behind him. So I walked up, knocked on the door, and his mother came to the door. And I said, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm your neighbor right down the street. There was a young man. He come and he destroyed my fence. I'm not really mad about it. I just want you to know that he did wrong, so that way you can help him understand what he did was wrong. Boy, she said, head up, come down here. I said, uh-oh, here it comes. She called him before me. She said, did you break this man's fence? And he said, yes, I did. She said, well, you're grounded, and you're going to go help Mr. Eric fix his fence or do some yard work or help him out. She said, get on up there and go to your room. You're grounded. You ain't going out. He said, oh, I'm sorry. And he went up there. She said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, it's all right, ma'am. I said, I don't even care about that fence. I said, I just don't want him to further on his, mistakes to his own detriment. She said, oh, I understand. Thank you for coming down here. And he will come down and help you. I said, all right, well, if you feel that's necessary, then do so, So, many of you would agree with what I just said. And many of you that agree with what I just said would also go to a city and start destroying other people's things and property because you're all protesting about something that you didn't like about something someone else did, so you're going to destroy someone else's property. Now, maybe that little kid had a bad day at school. Maybe he didn't like his first grade teacher's homework assignment, so he took it out on my fence. But he was like 7 or 8. He was not a grown man. So let me ask you something. If you're a protester and you protest with your mouth, will that ever break a car window, light a building on fire, or a car? Or even throw a brick? Your words are enough. Now, do you see your behavior now? Very similar Very elementary. Now, I don't support any political ideology because I don't have faith in any man. But that young man, he did show up and he did help me. I made him do, I don't know, pick up some trash or something like that and throw it in the garbage can. It was a show of his respect. So let me ask you, if you're getting paid to protest, are you a pro-tester? Shalom.